Hello everyone, welcome back inside the Update Studio. Tommy Marquez here, joined now by the third fittest man in this year's CrossFit Games Open, Travis Mayer. He's a two-time Games athlete. He's out of the Southeast. He's a part owner of CrossFit Passion out in Georgia. Travis, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
So last year, you were 7th in the Open. This year, improved up to 3rd worldwide in the Open. What about your training has allowed you to be so successful in the Open these past 2 years?
I'd say the biggest thing for me has been the mindset, kind of pushing my limits each day, working with my coach and everybody at Training Think Tank. We've been, kind of had some people move down here, so having more athletes to train with so I'm not by myself and being able to push through those limits and kind of barriers has been a huge help.
After taking 7th last year in the Open, you went to the Atlantic Regionals and you took 8th, missing out on the Games after making the Games 2 years in a row. What have you implemented this year to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself and you don't miss out this year?
I would say that I kind of stepped back, took a little kind of big look at the picture and kind of addressed what I feel like I needed to work on going into this year. The biggest thing for me was the mental side and having some slip-ups on some workouts and just making sure that that doesn't happen again.
You're no stranger to adversity. Back in 2011, you just barely missed regionals. In 2012, you had a fractured L5 vertebrae that kind of hindered your performance a little bit. You bounced back, made the Games. What about you mentally has allowed you to stay so focused and centered on your goals, even in the face of some missed opportunities?
My goal ever since being in CrossFit has always kind of been, I want to be the fittest, and that's been my goal since day one, watching my first ever Chris Spieler video in a little PT room. That's always been the dream, and I'm not going to stop until I accomplish it.
So on top of this competing thing, you've had a couple lifestyle changes in the past few years. Back before, in 2014, you got married. This year, you now have your first child. Congratulations. How have you balanced all of that on top of trying to be a top-level athlete?
Well, thankfully, my wife helps out a ton, and that is huge for me, especially with training so much. That would be the biggest thing, and both the grandparents able to watch him during the day, so he's not at daycares. But then when I go home at night, I get to spend time with him, and it kind of puts things in perspective that there's more to life than just working out, and having a family is a really special thing.
So you're telling me balance is key, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So you've been working with your coach, Max El-Hajj, for 4 years now. When so many athletes are jumping programs, it seems like a new coach is the flavor of the week. What has been the crux of your guys' relationship that's allowed you to work together for so long?
Ever since we started working together, we've had a really good relationship, just from him giving me feedback based on what I was doing wrong, what I needed to do, sending videos frame by frame on if a lift was wrong or whatever I needed to fix. And then since he's moved down here out of our gym, it's been a huge success because now we're able to work one-on-one and get even more detailed and dialed in with everything.
So you've got a background in motocross, competing and working as a mechanic with a friend. How does that kind of background translate skill-wise or anything else-wise for CrossFit?
For me, the biggest thing would be dealing with pain. I know that's kind of weird, but when you wreck at 50 miles an hour hitting the ground, you kind of learn to just get back up and keep going. So going into CrossFit, I love the pain factor and always finding ways to push the limit.
I'm a huge fan of the sport. I follow a bunch of the Southeast athletes on Instagram and social media. It seems like you guys are pretty tight-knit, always getting together to train, work out, hang out. What is so unique about the Southeast athletes that they're able to be so close?
You keep your enemies close. Nah, just kidding. It's just great having such good guys out of this region. You know, we're all really close. I don't feel like you find that in many other sports. So when we all get together, it's just a great bro session, from lifting off and just crushing workouts. But having everybody together makes it fun.
And lastly, for you to look back on 2016 and consider it a success, what has to happen the rest of the way in this season?
I want to be able to go into every single workout and know that I gave it my absolute best. In some of the years past, I've had some things slip up where I wasn't necessarily the happiest about. And so going into this year, attacking each workout with one purpose, and that's to win. And if it doesn't happen, you just have to let it go and keep moving forward. Getting back to the Games in 2016 is ultimately the biggest goal right now.
Well, Travis, we'll be rooting you on. Best of luck at regionals, and thanks for joining me today.
All right, thanks for having me on.
You guys can catch Travis and the rest of the Atlantic Regional competitors throwing down at regionals in just a few weeks. All the action is going to be here at games.crossfit.com.